What's up, YouTube world? I'm going around all my social media and doing my rounds today. And I'm talking about ITC 2020, the big training event, the immersion training camp. And I'm really excited because that time is kind of ticking down to the big main event of the year. And I'm really excited. Check it out. I got my little training apparatus. I'll kind of show you guys some of that stuff as we're going along here. But yeah, we got only about 10 weeks to go left of registration for ITC, which is our 5-day training camp. It's our immersion training camp, and it's happening June 24th through the June 28th. I haven't really been promoting it a whole lot this year. I don't know. I've kind of been in a little bit of a business funk lately, where I'm not really promoting so much. And I'm just kind of focusing on my training a lot, mostly. I had just like a few weeks ago, Ollie was messaging me, and he was like, "Hey man, how's the new renovations coming over, in the new house?" And I'm like, "Dude, honestly, it was like a whole week." I'm like, "I didn't even do anything, dude. I just been training this whole time." He's like, "Oh yeah, that sounds about right." So I've been just training and working out. And just, continuing to look further into Kali and the way that we're doing everything, and just keep exercising, keep growing, And the last couple of weeks of February, I had to head out to Chicago. I spent the last 2 weeks of February in Chicago. We had our Inner Triangle meetup, which was a ton of fun. So I got to train with all the guys in Chicago, and some of our Michigan guys came out and trained with us. And that was all Inner Triangle people. And that's always a lot of fun because those guys are getting good, man. And, I gotta keep my game sharp when I'm training with all those guys. And then the following weekend, I had to fly out to St. Augustine to teach a seminar out there. My man, Chris Clark, he runs our St. Augustine Kali Center chapter. He hosted the seminar. Will Renfro and one of his students, he runs our Pensacola, Florida chapter. Him and one of his students came out to train, and it was super cool, man. So like day one of that training, it was kind of open to other people to come out and train. And then on a Sunday, it was just me. Kevin came out to assist. He's one of our staff candidates from the Chicago area. So I was like, "Hey man, you want to come out to St. Augustine?" Because he's been there and trained with everybody, and you've probably seen Kevin in some videos and stuff. And it's like he's like, "Dude, I'm definitely gonna go because I want to train, man. I want to train." And so he took the flight out with me to St. Augustine, and it was cool because Saturday, right, we had an open group, and then Sunday it was just Kevin, me, Chris, and Will. So our leader guys, our chapter leaders. So we went out, trained on the beach, got crazy deep in the system, and super, super fun. And now Will is being a maniac. He's training like a freaking crazy guy now because he wants it that bad. So super, super, super cool. Hey, Paul, it's hecka rare that I catch you live. So glad I got on. Awesome, man. Yeah, that's awesome. Finished up my workout with Daga, Carenza, and some calisthenics. Nice. Nice. Yeah, it's kind of an awkward time of the day to kind of go live. So usually I'm either live like super early, or usually that's when I'm live, is like super early. Yeah, seen them. They're getting really good. Yeah, they are. They are. They're eating it up, and they're training all the time. So I'll kind of show you guys a little tour, a little progress of what's going on down here. I'm just kind of walking out to the back pond. I like to walk and talk at the same time. It just keeps my mind going. So I like doing this is why I like doing a lot of hiking and training outside and stuff, because it just keeps my functions going. But I'll show you guys some stuff around if you want to hang around with me for a little bit. And then I'll just kind of in and out talk about ITC for anyone that's interested, or you kind of want to know more about it. If you have any questions, feel free to ask your questions. If you got training questions, if you've kind of been looking at any of our programs or anything, you got any questions, since I'm live, this is the perfect time to ask. All right, so I'm here to answer any questions and all that. This is the knife that I'm carrying right now. This is, I'm kind of just playing around with it. This is the SOG Growl. I've done a knife review on this, so I'll kind of do like a little bit update. I had to file this little corner off right here because it was super, super sharp. Like the edge went all the way over there. I still want to file a little bit, but since I filed that, now it doesn't like, you know, it won't bite into the hand if you accidentally run your hand on that. And it made the knife so much better. You can see I've been using it a lot. It's all got little surface rust stuff on it. I gotta clean it. You know, it's like the other knife I carry, my pocket knife I carry, is the Spyderco Pacific Salt, right? So this thing is like corrosion resistance. And I'll give you guys a little tour of like everything on the property and stuff here in a minute. But it's the steel that's like saltwater resistant. And if it's resistant to saltwater, it's pretty much resistant to like all elements. And I'm like, dude, like it's 2020, man. How come these guys, how come everyone else, they're not using that technology? And I mean, I've trained with this thing in the ocean and not cleaned it, and it's perfectly fine. So, like, that would make sense. So, I don't know. I think all these other knife makers and stuff, they got to step up their game, man. I'd rather pay a little bit more for that kind of like lower maintenance, higher quality, and that reliability under like element conditions than pay less for a cheap knife, right? So that's just my opinion on it. Let's see, what do we got? Any particular training focus I should have for this year's ITC? Pretty much like, you know, just make sure that you got the basics covered, you know, just kind of run through like the minor curriculum. I am gonna be teaching some stuff out of the first degree level stuff. You know, so you want to make sure that you have kind of like just the fundamentals of the minor stuff kind of down. Pretty much the stuff that we went through last year, and that's gonna help you out a lot. So just kind of review a lot of that stuff. Just work on that. Make sure that you're working, you know, being calibrated, coordinated, and calibrated. And then I'm gonna blow your freaking mind this year at ITC. You're gonna be like, oh my God, how come nobody else is teaching this? And my answer is gonna be because nobody else knows this. All right, so it's gonna be crazy. One of the things that I'm currently working on in my own training right now is I'm looking at the expansion of lines and the potential lines that are coming. So I'm doing a lot of Espada daga stuff with the classical daga, which is the longer daga that's taken from the Spanish. So it's a daga that's like 19, 20 inches long. And that's what I've been working a lot. So I've been emphasizing the lines a lot more. So at ITC, be prepared for your mind to be like, what the, you know, it's gonna be crazy. But you're gonna see that massive, like you're gonna get it. You're gonna get it. Our inner triangle people, you're gonna understand everything that I'm teaching, and it's gonna be crazy. In fairness, I get my mind blown like that at every ITC. Yeah, this one's gonna be insane though. All right, like crazy insane. I was teaching a little bit of phase 1 stuff at the last meetup when I was in Chicago, and I mean Tom was like, "Whoa!" It got Tom crazy excited. So you know that if it blew Tom's mind, yeah, like your brain might actually melt out of your ears at this ITC. So day 4, day 5 is gonna get really crazy. So we are doing some Espada daga. Like last year, I think we did a little bit of Sakaran. So I'm changing some stuff up this year for ITC. So if this sounds good and you wanna be there, you gotta get registered because time is ticking. Registration closes on May 15th, sharp for everyone. If you need help financially, you have until March 15th, only about a week and a half away, to get registered where you can take advantage of our payment installment plan. We break up the payment into 4 months, and you can do that too. But I have to shut off registration on May 15th because we need enough time to make sure that we can get everybody's t-shirts in and we can get everyone's, you know, there's a certificate of completion that you get after completing ITC because it's a good challenge. I'll just leave it at that. But yeah, so we are going to be doing, obviously we're going to be covering fundamentals on day one, footwork, striking mechanics, and a lot of the fundamentals of flow and range, timing, all that stuff that makes this stuff functional. Day two, probably, and then a little bit of knife stuff, form stuff on day one. Day two, when we go to the knife stuff, we're going to be focusing on the empty hand versus knife tapping this time. So last couple years, we did a lot of the knife versus knife tapping. This year, we're going to be looking at the empty hand versus knife tapping. And I mean, you're going to be doing it our way. And as a beginner, is boot camp doable? Yeah. Mike, we have people that have attended ITCs that it was their first experience ever in Kali. You know, some of the guys that came from Wyoming, you know, they've never even had a Kali stick in their hand before. And then they came back. They came back in 2019, man, and now they're like, damn, man, I got to do this Kali stuff. So absolutely. And the thing about like the way that we run the camp is that, you know, it is intense training. It's physically intense. It's mentally intense. Sometimes it can get a little emotionally intense. But the thing about the ITC and what makes it really special is that we're there to support each other and look out for each other. So if we see that you're having a hard time, we will help pull you through, you know, and we're going to help you out. Like we do have that whole like mentality of leave no person behind. So absolutely, it's perfect for beginners. Actually, I think it's better for beginners than it is for like anyone else. But everybody benefits from it. So we're going to be doing some empty hand versus knife. I'll explain this thing here behind me if you're like, what the fuck is that? So we are going to be doing some empty hand versus knife tapping stuff, so some close quarter stuff with that. And then we're going to be doing a special segment probably on that third day that's going to be covering Espada Daga. So if you're coming out to it, you need your regular training Daga. And then you can also bring an extended stick Daga. So make sure you have one stick that you can cut down to about like somewhere between 18, 19, 20 inches. And we're going to do some Espada Daga stuff as well. And then day 4 and 5, we're going to be going into a little bit more advanced material. If you're there for the whole thing, it's going to make sense. So even if you're a beginner, and like when I say the word advanced just means like, okay, this is a little bit more further in the curriculum. But the way that the ITC is engineered, the way it's designed, it will be, it'll be fine. Like you're going to understand, you're going to be able to do the drills. It's going to make everything else tie together and make a lot more sense, and it's going to click. And then day 5 is always, we can't talk about it, man. What happens on day 5 stays at ITC, man. So this right here, this is one of my new training partners. A lot of people think that solo training, they're like, man, you know, is it really functional? Can you really develop anything like, you know, out of this solo training stuff? When you know how to solo train, you can. And right now, see, I have purposely put myself into this position where I am training now pretty much like 95% of my time solitary. So anybody out there that's like, oh, you can't learn this stuff solo training. Bullshit. I'm in that position. Go ask Tom, go ask Ollie. The last time I trained with them just a couple weeks ago. And they'll tell you. They'll be like, dude, something happened, man. Something happened. And I'm spending all my time solo training. This is where, for me personally, I can break things down. I can look at things. I can dig deeper into the system. The important thing is that you have to know how to solo train. You have to know how to do it the right way. Because there are ways to solo train where you're kind of just like doing the mundane thing and you're just kind of going through motions and in a way not optimizing your time. And then it is kind of like, feels like a waste of time, because if it feels like a waste of time, it really is a waste of time. But if you're solo training in a way where you're able to, you know, really develop, then you're gonna get better. That doesn't mean that you can't spend time with actual other human beings. You still need to get your time in with other human beings. And that's why for like our Inner Triangle, we have our Inner Triangle meetups that is complementary to our Inner Triangle members. And then we do things like ITC, or sometimes my Inner Triangle members will host me out for a seminar and they'll open it up for the public, right? Those are great times to come on out, train with us, and then you can put what you have been learning and growing on through your solo training you can get any kind of refinements, and you can get the time spent for the adjustments of range and timing and momentum. And that's really all the things that you have to be able to do. All right, so this is the Kali Arms Dummy, the Kali Dummy. Right now, I only have the high lines up. Later on, I'll go ahead and put the low lines on there as well. But this is the high lines, and this is set on a Spada Yadaga. And this thing is freaking awesome. So this isn't about like impact training. This isn't about trying to hit this thing as hard as you can or anything like that. This is about precision and learning the lines and learning navigation. So when you're working this thing, all right, it has two sides to it that are balanced out equally, okay? Same lengths, it's a Spada Yadaga, same lengths, roughly on the same side. And this way I can train 360 degrees around it. So I can still work my circling footwork, my triangle footwork, and while I'm working on understanding where the lines are. And right now, again, it's just set up for the high lines. But I can work here, right? So I'm working the depth of the strikes and the forward pressure of the strikes, so I can work both offensively and counter-offensively on this. As I'm maneuvering, as I'm coming around, now I have to work the potential of the horizontal lines, meaning the wingspan of the strikes, and I continue moving, right? And now I can work back on that depth perception. So we can move this on both ways. I can circle clockwise, counterclockwise, and all the strikes are precise. It's very easy to build. It's super easy. Look, it's just a stick in the ground, a post. I have a 1x6 from like fencing board. Cut it to shoulder width, make 2 holes in it, and then shove some PVC pipe in there. It's literally that simple. And you just make sure that it's at the proper height, right, of where the extension of the arm is. And now you have all your lines, right? And you can start to visualize your lines because you have the depth of the line, the depth of the forward pressure of the line, and then you also have the length of the wingspan of the line. And now you can work your lines, right? And you can visualize where the arcs are and all that stuff. And you have the depth and you have the width and everything, so you have to properly work your footwork and everything and your ranging and all that stuff. So this is an awesome tool. I have another variation of this tool. This is the static version of the tool. And then I have another variation that I haven't built yet over here, but there's also a dynamic version of this exact same tool. So later this month, I'm finally going to be releasing the Kali Solo Training Guide. The Solo Training Guide is going to be over at kalicenter.training, and it's going to be 100% solo training and how to train solo and how to maximize your solo training, how to maximize your footwork. It's going to be very detailed. I already got a whole bunch of videos filmed for it, edited, ready to go. All I got to do is just, I got to finish designing the actual page, and then I just hit publish and it's launched. So it will be launching this month. And you're going to see this guy in upcoming videos in there. And I'm going to be teaching exactly how to use this and how you can do it at a very beginner stage and how you can do it all the way up to even advanced stuff. So I got all kinds of, I'm going to teach you how to use a pole. So right here, this is a training apparatus, right? So I'm going to teach you how to properly use just a simple little pole like this so you can maximize your training and understand how to build your mechanics and everything with this. And I have never seen anybody out there put any kind of video or teach how to actually train solo using these simple little tools. Doesn't need to be this big, right? I got 4x4 posts holding my barn up over there. That's all you need, right? But so that's going to be a really cool program. That's just teaching you how to maximize and optimize your time solo training, so you can actually grow and you actually know what to focus on and what you're learning and what you're developing. And the cool thing about that program is it's a lot of work because it's super detailed. So there's the video lesson, and then there's a corresponding text lesson that will have like diagrams and further explanations of breakdown of the workouts and training notes, specific training notes, like this is what I want you to focus on when you're doing this drill. So it's gonna be like super detailed. There is no other online training program out there like this in martial arts, especially Filipino martial arts. I haven't seen any, and I got my little spies everywhere. Not really, but my little ninjas that are out there, and they've been, checking out other people's training programs and all that, and that's why they just keep coming back and they're like, well, Kali Center's really freaking good. I mean, you guys are basically the best because, you know, we've been engineering this entire like online virtual long distance training thing. So since 2015, January 3rd of 2015 is when I opened up our first version of the online school. All right, let me show you this thing. This is my barn, obviously. And I'm converting a section of the barn into like an indoor training dojo studio thing. My neighbors probably think I'm absolutely nuts because they're like, who is this guy? Moves in here, he walks around his property with his phone in his hand talking to himself all the time. Little do they know, this is my living. All right, so here's the barn. There's Beast, that's the Beast, big red Beast. And then this entire side right here, this is all being converted into like a training kind of inside dojo. And so you see I got Bob in there. I got my other training pole, right? It's just a pole that's already been in here. I got my pull-up bar. I got the reflex bag. Eventually, I'm going to have a tire stack on this side so I can whack the tire stack for impact training. So you're going to see a lot of videos and stuff that are coming up that's going to be in here. I'm probably going to like do something with the ground, you know, kind of level it out a little bit better, and I might put like a little plank floor on there. I don't know. I don't mind training in the dust, but it's probably not the best thing just to always be breathing it in or something. So I might kind of do something with the floor. Got the loft up there, but this is the inside stuff. And although I prefer training outside primarily, but I wanted to have this because I wanted to make sure that if it's raining outside or if it's super windy outside, and when there's a video for me to film, I have a controlled place, so that way there's good like audio quality and all that. So you might even hear an audio difference just right now from when we were just outside. So let's see what's going on here before we move on to the next thing. How's your house going? The house it's kind of slow right now because we're I gotta wait for Christy to come back. We pretty much finished up ideally the rough design of how we want to remodel the kitchen and stuff. The kids' bedrooms are pretty much done. They just got to pick out their paint colors. They're all primed up and everything. I'll have more. I got way more projects that we got to do inside. So right now, because spring's on its way, the primary thing is the garden. We got to get the garden going because the secret to gardening is timing, really. So we gotta get that stuff going. It's really beautiful where you are. Yeah, it's awesome here. I mean, I'm in heaven here. So and then tomorrow I'm gonna probably go hiking a little bit, and I'll just go hike out in the wilderness. I'm like pretty much completely surrounded by forest, so it's awesome. So that's the little dojo that we're working on. Oh, I was gonna show you this too, because I think this is like super cool. Japanese knives, the very best. Yeah, they're good. They're good. What is the type of steel Spyderco is using? Well, this specific one, they call it their H1, so I don't really know exactly what that means, but it is, you know, they say that it's corrosion proof to salt water. So I tested it out, and yeah, I could definitely attest to that. I was training around with it in the ocean, and I had this one on me, and I had my Endora, my old left Endora. So now my right knife, or my left knife, is also a Pacific Salt. So I had both of them on me one time when I was testing them, and I purposely didn't clean them for like a week. It was locked up, but the Pacific Salt wasn't. And that was after training in the ocean for 4 hours, and then just leaving the knives alone for a week. I had to clean the Endora. I didn't have to, I never even touched my Pacific Salt. So it's their H1 steel, man. Whatever they're doing, they're doing it right. So I like it. Low maintenance, good design. Hey, Paul. Hey, Nick. How's it going? That's Paul's favorite student. Yeah, that little dummy out there right now, that's my favorite student. That's the most dedicated student I've ever trained with. He was out there sleeping during a thunderstorm, a big, massive thunderstorm the other night. That guy's training more than me. I am interested in learning Kali. Where should I start first? Please share the boot camp to start video link. that would appreciate it. Where should you start learning? Dude, man, just start training, man. Pick a video and start training. Start working on it. Go outside or whatever and just start rocking and rolling. That's how you start. That's where to start. I'm not filming ITC this year as far as like making a like a video course or anything. There's the 2017 ITC and then there's the 2019 ITC video course. Oh my God, lighting was terrible. That's over at collegecenter.training. If you want to kind of see or whatever with the boot camps, you can do that. But I'm not filming ITC this year for to make like a like a video program on it. We're teaching some stuff that is only for those that are coming out or those that are in the inner triangle, or join the inner triangle. There you go. Perfect place to start if you want to have like that solid step-by-step curriculum. Let's see here. This thing keeps like resetting on me, so sorry if my finger is in the way. Well, I have some colleague training, 3 years. I am interested in becoming a member of College Center. What's the best program should I start with? If you want to be a member of College Center and you want to like train what we actually do here, then jump into the inner triangle. That's the best program that we have. That follows our official curriculum that we actually teach and train and everything. So that's the best one. Plus, as an inner triangle member, you get discounts to like different events like ITC and all kinds of stuff. So we take extra care of our inner triangle members. And then you get access to our training support group that is for inner triangles only on Facebook and stuff. And we go the extra mile for inner triangle. Believing you can't learn anything solo is so BS. I beat up a stationary plank with my metal pipes the other day. I totally ruined the face I drew on it. Yeah. Yeah, man, you can learn a lot from solo training as long as your solo training is done the right way. Good afternoon. Hey, what's going on? Also, it was the first time I actually hit anything. Everything before was basically just shadow boxing. Yep, impact training is important. Absolutely. So that's what I was going to show you guys. Check this out. So, the whole saying, one person's trash is another person's treasure. So I got a whole bunch of like old tires and stuff that the previous owners just kind of left here. So you got some old, it looks like semi-truck tires right here. If you come over in this corner, I don't even need to go get tires, man. I got a whole bunch of tires in this corner ready to go for collie training. I got a couple smaller tractor tires over here. And then I'll show you some more. I'll close up the barn and show you guys some more stuff. And I got more tires out in the woods and everything. So it's yeah, I got plenty of tires for hitting stuff. So just go, if you need tires to hit, try to go find like an old junkyard or something and see if you can go snag some old tires. Or if you go to like people like tire places and they want to get rid of their old tires and they got to go pay for having their tires recycled, sometimes they'll just be like, hey man, if you want some tires, just go take them. All right, I'll have to do this later. So sometimes you can just get tires for free from like car places that are like, yeah, we got to pay to get these recycled tires picked up. They might just be like, dude, take as many as you want. And I got some more tires right here. I got some Dumog drills that I do with tires. Used to do with tires, so I'll show you guys how to train some Dumog stuff with tires sometime. Let's see, where else are we at? Looks interesting. Will you also make a video how to train with the construction? How to train with the construction? Like with that? With the training apparatuses? Yeah, it's all. I'm making videos on everything, man. This is the College Center compound right here. I got so many things that so many things, and they're all easy to make, and they're all super cheap. You don't even, you don't. The whole purpose of like being out here and making these videos and everything is to show people that you can train anywhere, anytime. And you don't need this like special dojo or special mats or this like sacred space to train, right? Like you have all this. We got the best dojo that's ever been made on planet Earth, right? Look, I never run out of square footage, man. This is, I mean, yeah, I had to like pay for the land or whatever, but like you can go out to a national forest or forest preserve or whatever, and there you go, man. You got a dojo for free, right? All the space you want. You'll never cover all that space. So right now I'm standing in where it's going to be the garden. All this right here is going to be the garden, and then down in this hill, this little kind of gully right here, this is going to be the archery range. And then up on the hill behind that is going to be some other collie training stations. So when we're doing like meetups and stuff like that, I'll be showing you guys. I'll have more like apparatuses and stuff that I'm going to be putting up over there. So that way people can train that, like we can do these lessons. So that way you're learning lines and you're learning how to solo train. And then I'm going to directly take that drill into the partner drill and then into the flows and all that stuff. So it'll be awesome. I'll show you, so I'll be able to basically teach, this is how I solo train it, and then this is how you train it with a partner, and then this is how you actually apply. All right, what else we got? I actually was researching people. Let's see, I don't want to miss anything. I have a great book about building your own martial arts equipment. Among other things, it shows yep. Let's see. Do you have any opinion on those as a training aid? Yeah, dude. Like any training aid is good as long as you know how to use it. So even though my little dummy over there, it looks really, really simple, and it's super simple and super easy to make, there's a specific way to train on it, so that way you're actually maximizing that piece of equipment. And if you just kind of make one, and you could just kind of do your own thing. But there's specific principles around it, right? On how to train with it and to maximize it and actually use it for what it's designed for, right? It's like a car, It's like you can have a car and just sleep in the car, or you can learn how to actually use the car, right, to get you from point A to point B, right? But you can use a car for many more things than just driving around. I mean, you can camp in a car, right? So it's like you can learn how to use a car. Same thing with all these things. I actually was researching people doing Sinawali on heavy bag and such, and there aren't many videos out there. Yeah, dude, there's like, because people don't know how to solo train, dude. It's that simple. And teachers don't know how to teach solo training because unfortunately most teachers aren't training. There's definitely not solo training. That's why, like Vunak, when I trained with Vunak used to talk about this all the time. He's like, the people, all these martial artists, they become teachers, and all of a sudden their chi starts to grow, right? Their tummy starts to get bigger. They're not working out. They're not training anymore, right? They're slowing down. They're becoming unhealthy, and they're focusing on this business, and that's what happens. And if you're not solo training and trying to figure out how do I solo train, then how do you teach people how to solo train? And that's why no one in the martial arts, or in Filipino martial arts, that's why they don't know how to solo train this stuff, and how to like maximize their effort and optimize their time and actually grow skill through solo training. And that's why people have this belief of like, yeah, well, you can't learn online. You can't. No, because no one's ever known how to teach online. No one's ever taught you how to use the resource of how to train videos or even put the proper online training, video training online, right? You're right. Like I can't teach people how to like, operate timing and certain things and certain drills that you do need another person with there, but I can still teach you how to grow skill of what you can do with the limits of just by yourself, and how to and how stretched those solitary limits actually are. Like they're not as confined as most people think. And that's one of the things I'm going to be proving. And I'm going to be proving to the world that all these other martial arts guys out there that are like, you can't grow skill at all, you can't learn online, you can't. Learning online is the same thing as me being here training by myself, and expanding my knowledge base off of research, right? Because training is training, dude. It doesn't matter where the information comes from, right? The message is more important than the medium. And training online is no different than going to the library and getting a book and trying to learn out of a book, or picking up an old DVD and trying to learn out of a DVD, or going to a seminar and trying to learn out of a seminar, right? Think about a seminar. Most seminar formats in martial arts. You come into the seminar, maybe it's a one-day thing, maybe it's a full 2-day thing, whatever it is, not the point. Teacher teaches something, you never touch hands with the teacher. You're over here with this other guy that's attending the seminar that has no idea what the hell he's doing. The teacher is just doing whatever the teacher's doing. Sometimes they disappear for whatever it is. And then here you are with a guy, you don't know what you're doing, they don't know what they're doing. You basically just watched a video, and that's all you're doing. And that's how most seminars are. When you come and train with us, with College Center, if you come out to ITC, I mean, most of the time, people would like walk in. When I had my school in Chicago, we'd have people that would walk in, like prospects walk in, and they'd be like, where's the teacher? Because we're all training, dude. Like, you have no idea who's who, because the teachers are in there training with everybody. I've been at schools. I remember I participated, actually I taught at a school that had this belief for a long time, until I became an instructor there and I changed it. But, you know, it was like, the belief was instructor training only happens behind closed doors. So, students will never see the instructors training together. I'm like, that's bullshit, man. What a cheap, like, insecure way to be, you know? Why would you start a martial arts school to not train, right? To not work out? That's so stupid. I've had people who are friends of mine who were teachers who I trained with, and they're like, yeah, man, I can't train anymore because I'm just like, I got no time, man. I got work, and then I'm teaching. I got to come here and I got to teach class. I get no time for my training. I'm like, dude, you have this exposure. You have an entire school, right? You have all these students, and you have no time for training? What is that, man? Like, holy crap. I learn more from my students than I've learned from my teachers, I'll tell you that. Because, I mean, it's crazy. In my training partner. So, yeah, man. Get out there, man. It's all about doing it right. Let's see. Little ninjas everywhere. Yeah, I got little ninjas everywhere, man. Let's see. Excited when it's all done and running. Yeah, the process is a lot of fun, but I'm excited. Like I said, I'm waiting. We already ordered the fence. We're waiting for the fence to come in. I'm excited to get that thing up, and you know, just keep doing a thing. I was training for a couple of hours, working out on my guy over there and stuff. So yeah, right now I'm kind of taking a little break. I'm trying to go through all the different social media stuff right now. I'm probably going to hit up Instagram Live right after this. So I'm actually I'm trying to promote ITC, but I'm like, oh, I'm not really talking about it that much. Thanks for answering. Absolutely. Excited when it's all done. I'm about to finish the 31-day Kali challenge. Hey, man, that's good. That's a good place to start right there. Our 31-day challenge over on College Center YouTube. There's a free way to start training. Don't have a bob for impact training. Is there a proper substitute equipment, wise speaking? Something one can use in cramped room. Yeah, you can. I mean, you can use anything that you can hit. Tire stack, heavy bag. If you got a tree, wrap some foam around a pole. You can take like a rattan stick or like a PVC stick or something, stick it in the ground, train that thing. I mean, yeah, anything you can hit for impact training. The purpose of impact training, a lot of people think is to develop power, and that's not true. The way that you develop power in your training is by making sure that you're training precise mechanics. Make sure you're training really good striking mechanics and that you know all 12 principles of striking mechanics. The purpose of the impact training is to develop your follow-through of the strike. And I mean, that's really what you're doing when you're doing impact training. So you're learning a couple things. You're learning follow through, number one, and then you're learning the range of the different applications with your weapon. So you're learning about when to hit with the upper third of the weapon, when do you make contact with the middle of the weapon, when do you make contact with the puño of the weapon, and you're working that follow through, whether you are striking on a fluid strike, a broken strike, a circular energy strike, diagonal, horizontal, vertical, slash, thrust, whatever it is, you're working the follow through. So that's really the main purpose of impact training. So anyone that sits and says, oh no, that's bullshit, it's all power development. No, power comes from mechanics. It comes from understanding how to utilize the torso, how to properly structure the weapon in your hand so that way you're generating torque, right? That's where power comes from. Power comes from torque, speed and torque. And that's where power comes from. So the more that you are working your mechanics, you're refining the coordination of your mechanics, you're gonna naturally start developing more power. Yeah, that's just how it is. And when you're striking things, it seems like you're developing more power because you're getting better follow through. And that's what you want. Would you consider another 30-day challenge? Yeah, I've been thinking about it. Honestly, like I just haven't really had time to kind of commit to doing another like 31-day challenge or anything. I was actually thinking about doing like some mini challenges and, you know, just making them like $1 or like $5 or whatever, and then using that money to donate to certain causes that I believe in, like helping veterans and stuff like that. So I was kind of thinking about doing little things like that and kind of making like the challenges a lot more topic specific and stuff like that. So I just haven't gotten around to doing it yet because there's like all these other projects and things I got to do, but definitely been considering it. You want your job? Kidding. Yeah, man, come up. You guys can make a challenge. Use tire stacks, as Paul is explaining, but there are a bunch of things you can use to substitute. Yeah, it's so many things. Anything you can hit. Like I can take this stick in the ground, dig a little hole, put that thing in the ground, and I got something to hit. You know, yeah, just hit whatever. Hit everything, man. Hit it all. Right? I'll come out here, see this dead piece of wood right here, and I just hit that thing. I'd get my bolo out and chop that thing in half. You know, and work that. I don't know if you guys ever seen that Top Prado Blades video. I took a Tolly Bong from Top Prado Blades. It was one that Prado sent to us, and he gave us a mission. He's like, destroy this, bro. I'm like, all right, man, I'll destroy this. We haven't been able to destroy it. And I freaking hacked a tree trunk the size of my torso in half. And that's over on the Top Prado Blades, I think it's on the Top Prado Blades YouTube channel. You can go check out when I hacked that thing. So, you know, someone's like, man, you need an axe for that. I'm like, nah, dude. So, are you going to grow your own fruits and vegetables and animals too in your vast land? So everything we're going to be doing here, garden-wise, we're going to be doing fruits and vegetables. So we are going to have some fruit trees, berries, all vegetable, the garden center. We're not going to do animals because they take a lot of time, and you know, we want to be able to take vacations, and if we want to leave for an extended period of time, you know, who's there to take care of the animals? I don't want to come home and then, you know, there's a bunch of dead animals. Because with the garden and stuff, I have the pond that's right over there, so I can create like an automated irrigation system. And plus, I got all my rain collectors and all that stuff to water the pond. So we can just take care of, you know, the garden can pretty much be set up where it can just kind of take care of itself. You just can't do that with animals. So like if I'm out teaching, like if I'm out, you know, teaching ITC or something like that, right? Like ITC, even though it's 5 days, you know, for me, it's basically 2 weeks because I got to travel out, right? I got to like do a whole bunch of things. You know, I got to like travel things out to prepare things. I got to end things. So for me, it's a big ordeal. So to be gone from here for like 2 weeks or a month with animals, that's just not good for the animals. So no animals. This is going to be, what are they calling it now? They're calling it, I think it's like they're calling it a vegetarian homestead now, where you're not doing any animals. It's just all like, you know, fruits, vegetables, stuff like that. So I guess it's technically going to be a vegetarian homestead, I guess. Yeah, I was just thinking the same. Maybe a small tire stack. So yeah, that's good, man. Let's see. I train outdoors usually, but when I train in my own room, I focus on slow, tight movements to get the technique right. Yeah. There's times when you strike a little bit wider, and there's times that you want to pull it in and keep it tight. That's the best way to do it. Like, you're just one of the students. Oh yeah, the way that we train. Yeah, so like ITC, you know, it's always my goal whenever I teach a seminar, especially like ITC, to get in and train with everybody. So that way we can have our own one-on-one time. And, you know, I just work with you personally. The staff guys are all ordered to do that as well, to train with everybody. You know, that's important. I mean, that's why people come out to ITC, right, is to train with the team and get that team experience. And I believe in leadership through example. So if the teacher's not in their training, then what would give you any kind of you know, inspiration or indication to train, right? And to train hard and to do it yourself, you know? I mean, that's why I teach, right? I mean, you're supposed to be teaching martial arts because you have a love and obsession for martial arts that you want to share this with other people, but you also want to keep growing because that's why you are surrounding yourself around the thing that you love, right? So it just doesn't make any sense to me to be teaching martial arts, have this school, and then you're never training. Like, that doesn't even make any sense to me. I don't even know how that works. Greetings from Texas. Hey, what's happening? Texas, that's another state I like. I used to go to Texas. I used to go to Dallas. That was a long time ago now. That's over. When's the last time I trained with Tim? Man, that's got to be like around 6 years ago. As a left-hander, how I respond to a right-hander using the #1 strike. Ooh, see, that's a good question. And that's a good question for ITC because I get that question all the time. And that's a tricky thing, man, because you don't have a #1 against their #1. And you don't have the Pasunoid flow. So yeah, see, that's a tricky thing. So I can't answer that, but I don't know if the answering with verbally is going to make sense. You start traditionally, Kali is, I mean, depending on different styles and stuff, we teach it everything as a right hand because you're learning the left hand and you're learning left versus right, right versus left when we get to the doble baston. So you do learn solutions to that, but it's tricky. It's tricky because you can't go to your 2 and thinking that your 2 is going to be able to support, you know, the contact of the 1 because the 1's going to crash right through the 2. So, right, to have a backhand up against forehand in contact, man, you got to be one brave mofo to be able to do that. So that 1 is a lot faster than the 2. Got more range, got more power. It's a tricky situation to be in. So thanks for the explanation regarding the impact training, Paul. Much obliged. Plus, thanks for the tip on the pole wrap and foam. I've got an idea now. Yeah, dude. Yep. Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, when you focus on the impact training being for the follow through of the strike instead of like trying to hit that thing with all the power that you're going to hit the impact that you would strike this tree. I can't touch a tree. Like, there's poison ivy right there, an old poison ivy thing. But the power that I would hit this tree with is the exact same amount of power that I would swing over here in the air. So the power is only relative to the mechanic that you can generate. But the difference is this will work the follow through because of the resistance of the tree. So scientifically, by physics, that's why you're working follow through. So if you start focusing on follow through when you're doing your impact training, you're going to get way bigger results than if you're focusing on power for your impact training. The power is already going to be there. It's already there. It's what you already have. And as you're working the follow through and you're tightening your mechanics, you're going to start to increase more power, and you're going to notice that, whether you're striking something or not. So hopefully that helps you out. Maybe find a tree or something. My neighbor lets me use his building. That's in the early stages. No door and floors. Yeah. And I stuck a plank there in this ramp. It's upright stationary. Yeah, dude. Yeah. That a real blade test? What's a real blade test? Oh, yeah. Cutting the tree trunk in half? Hacking that thing? Yeah, it is. That's, dude, like, I mean, it's like, you know, kind of like a little thicker than that. Probably like, it was probably about as thick as that one. I mean, it was waterlogged. It was a down tree. It was a dead, you know, down tree, but it was probably about as that big as that tree trunk right there that I hacked in half. That is totally a blade test, man. We don't recommend people doing that with their top throttle blades. They're designed, you know, not for that. But, you know, he told us, destroy the thing, man. So, call it vegan farm. Yeah, I guess, I don't know, man. There's all kinds of weird, like, terminologies going on out there. Everyone's getting so sensitive on how to talk to each other. And what's that saying? Nations are born stoic and they die escatarian. We're becoming so escatarian. I guess it's about the end of our empire. Better get back to the stoic. Be able to talk to each other honestly again. It's just weird. It's like people get all bent out when, you know, you like say something, and it's so weird. I also thought about that. I moved to Switzerland, but I'm not sure whether I can run around and, you know, vandalize their forest. Not sure whether that is a thing at all. Yeah, I mean, not vandalizing the forest. Like, I don't beat up like living trees and stuff, man. You know, but you can go train, man. You can train. You can still respect nature. Like, look, dude, there's down trees, there's dead trees and stuff, man. I'll train I'll hit a dead tree. I'm not gonna, like, you know, beat up this young thing or like a sapling or something like that. Like, still be responsible with, like, you know, nature and the resources and things. You know, but you gotta do what you gotta do, man. You gotta go test it out and go figure it out. Go find out if it's something you can do or not. People are like, man, can you go? First of all, most of the police officers don't even know the laws. So, I mean, people are like, dude, you train out there with, like, you know, in forest preserves and whatever. Yeah, dude, right? It's better to ask for. That's how I think about it. I don't know if that's always the best way to do it, but, you know, we've been told to stop sometimes, or, you know, just go take it over there or something. People are getting a little uncomfortable. Yeah, man, no problem. Whatever. We're not disturbing the peace, you know. So, beautiful place. Thank you. Learn to switch stances on whim. That's the only answer. Oh, from the whole right hand, left hand thing. You know, when I was training with Tim Wade, people would ask that question all the time. Like, what do you do if you're left-handed? And Tim had an awesome answer for that, because Tim is left-handed. But you never see him fighting single stick left-handed. And there's reasons for that. There's geometrical, mathematical, physical reasons for that. There's a reason why Spartans all fought right-handed. There's a reason why Rome, their soldiers were all fighting right-handed. Of course there were left-handed people in those militaries, but they fought right-handed. And the reason why is because of uniform. Like, you can't have, and I was showing this last year at ITC when we were doing, like, multiple opponent stuff and all that. I'm like, you know, you can't have that one left-handed person, because the left-hander, right now, you guys are creating crossfire on each other. So, I mean, that is actually the answer, is to, you know, learn the proper tactics and stuff. But sometimes people don't like that answer. I don't really care if people like it or not. I mean, it's just, it is what it is. Math is math, right? Like 1 + 1 = 2. At least in the third dimension it does. We can get into string theory and other dimensions and stuff where 1 + 1 might equal something else in the fifth dimension, but we're here on the third dimension. So 1 + 1 = 2, and that's just the way that it is. Math is math. Like, you might want it to equal something else, but it doesn't. Not here. Not at this dimension at this time. So that's just the way that it is. You know, like, you're not going to see a left-handed violin player in an orchestra at a symphony, because then you're going to cross bows, and that's going to mess up everything. So it doesn't work. But you still learn when you're learning the doble. You still learn answers to those questions and to those problems. But when you're using the doble, right, you're also looking at how to support the left hand with the right hand, or the right hand with the left hand, right? You're looking at a system of support here. So, double sticks, even though you got 2 long weapons, it's actually a short weapon category because you have such a limited amount of manipulation that you can do with 2 sticks. So that's what happens. That's just what it is, man. So tree beaters, yeah. That happens a lot in CA, unfortunately. I've had the cops called on me, tasers out and ready. Yeah, I'm sure. Everyone's got different laws everywhere, so been asked to leave areas, etc., just for doing some casual flow with a stick or a training knife. A lot of local police are solid dudes and understanding, but their hands are tied in that they have to respond to the calls of scared people make. Yeah. I mean, if somebody calls it in, whatever, then they have to respond to that. But, you still got to be responsible about it. Like, we don't go and train outside in public where there's going to be like, these families, and like, we're not going to go to where the playground is. Like, if we go out to the forest preserve to train, like, we're hiking in there. Like, we're going places where people they're not going to be there. So I mean, I don't know, maybe California's not the place where you can do that, but I got all this wild onion that's growing over here. I'm gonna pick some later on, throw it in my salad. But you just kind of have to think about it and kind of be smart about it and things like that. And and unfortunately, yeah, I mean, each state is a little bit different. Police officers, they got to do their job, and you just respect that, whatever. Actually, there was a time we were training. This was a long time ago. We were training multiple opponents at an old school that I used to teach at, Elite Defense Systems, and we were outside in the parking lot, and the police ended up flying into the parking lot. They got out of their car, they had their hands on their holster, everything, and they were ready to pump some lead at us. So it was funny because my teacher, Matt Numerick, at the time, he intercepted them right away, right? The way of the intercepting fist. And he goes over there, he's like, whoa, guys, this is all good. It's a martial arts school. We're just doing some training. They thought there was a gang fight. They thought because we were doing mass attack, and we were doing like 16 people on one. So they just saw 16 people. I think I was the one actually in the middle. So they saw 16 people just like chasing me all around the building and stuff, wanting to kick my ass. They thought there was a gang fight going on, and they're ready to start pumping some lead out. So that was funny. We've had incidences like that. Or one of the times, same school, Matt Newberg, man, he put us through so much craziness. We were doing carjacking training, and we had some people get like, they're gonna kind of come in and be like heroes because they thought there was a real carjacking going on, and we're like, no, dude, we're training. And it was funny because some of the other guys, they kind of got in the parking lot just in time, because when we were doing like the carjacking training, we would like go into the world and find each other that were in the school. So like we'd go to the mall or we'd go to the grocery store or whatever and find another one of our training guys, and we'd carjack them in the mall parking lot. It's just crazy stuff, man. Pepper spray each other and stuff right there in the middle of the parking lot and stuff. So yeah, we've had some interesting. We used to on one end of the strip mall where the martial arts school was the martial arts school. And then on the other end was the laundromat. So we used to go into the laundromat and we'd go fight in the laundromat. But, you know, you just do what you do, man. And you figure it out. I'm sorry. Just ask for forgiveness, man. Oh boy, the left-handed people must have discriminated by the Romans daily. Yeah, I mean, you know, and it's just, I mean, it's just the way that it is, you know. And the left hand ends up becoming a support. It's still a very important skill to have. Still develop your left hand, you know, still understand that. You know, Tim used to put it this way. You train the blade with your right and you learn how to shoot with your left. And now you're just an unstoppable machine. Right? So, I don't know. I mean, there's some truth to that. That's what I'm aiming for. Don't want to chop down living trees either. Yeah, man, I don't either. Don't want to get kicked out I don't want to vandalize anything. You know, good input. Yeah. Training Kali in Germany nearly 2 years, not regretting anything. Yeah, dude, you can't regret anything when you're training Kali. Kali is a way of life, right? It's the way of destruction, protection, and change, right? Of course, I often train away from most folks after hours, but still there's sometimes folks that react poorly. Yeah, it's gonna happen, dude. I mean, it's the same thing like in the skateboarding world, you know? We'd go and skate some place in the city, whatever, and of course, you know, it's just a matter of time. We know we're gonna get kicked out, but at that time there were no skate parks, you know, so we didn't have anywhere else to go. Now, because there's skate parks, they just give you tickets, you know, so, but yeah, man, I mean, when I was 15 years old, I mean, shit, we used to drive out to the forest preserve and go train. That's why I started training outside all the time. Trees provide our oxygen. That's true. They do. Take care of them. My coach tells the same. Yeah. That sounds like awesome training. Yeah, it was. It was awesome training, dude. It was crazy intense, and you know, some of it was foolish, probably, you know, but those guys will turn you into an animal. I mean, you already are an animal, right? The kingdom that our species belong to is the animal kingdom. So cool. Well, anyways, it was fun chatting. Hang out, head on over to KaliCenter.com if you want to jump into any of the training programs. If the Kali Solo Training Guide is a program that has your attention and you're like, dude, that would be really cool. I'd love to expand on my solo training and learn how to do that better and how to optimize my time and have that really detailed solo instruction and stuff. Be on the lookout for the launch of that program this month. If you head over to KaliCenter.training, if you are in the training compound, which is a combination, it has all of our training programs that are in there. Not all the courses, but all the programs, the subscription programs. If you're in the compound, once the solo training guide is launched, you will see it will automatically appear for you. So that's just going to be an additional addition for the training compound. So if you want to get access to all of that stuff, I think I have it set right now where you can try it out for your first month for like $15 for the first month, and then after that it kicks into like $25 a month. And then you'll automatically have access to the Kali Solo Training Guide once it opens up. If you are only interested in the Kali Solo Training Guide, you will be able to also get access just to that if that's, you know, really what you're looking for and that's all that you want for your training, to help assist your training or what. So be on the lookout for that. I'm going to try and get that out. I'm actually, tonight, I have it planned and scheduled to, I got a couple videos for that I have to edit down real quick. And I got to type up some of the text lessons for it. And then I just got to design the actual website page. And then it's ready to launch. So what is today? Today is Wednesday. So probably by this weekend or early next week, the Kali Solo Training Guide will be launched. And it'll have the first videos on there and everything. So you can check that out. If you want to train with us in person, we got the biggest event of the year coming on up, June 24th to the 28th. is our immersion training camp, ITC 2020. You might have seen it on the website over at colliecenter.com. You might have seen some videos popping up about it and everything. That is a super, super amazing camp. It's kind of like my dream camp. Everything I've ever wanted in a training camp, of all the training camps that I've ever been to, right? Everybody's like, oh, I do it better and do it this way, whatever. It's kind of like my ideal dream camp. You know, we're outside. It's over at Custer, South Dakota. We're training in the middle of the Black Hills National Forest. Amazing place if you've never been there. We're training right there on my student, Dan Riggs, his training grounds, campgrounds, Broken Arrow Horse Campground. It's a super awesome event. We have a great group that is coming out. We have a lot of people that are coming back out that are returning. There are, I think everyone that's signed up are actually Inner Triangle members. You do not need to be an Inner Triangle member to attend ITC. If you are one, you do get a bigger discount. I do still have the early bird discount that's up. I totally forgot to take it down as I had all kinds of things going on at the end of last month. So you can take advantage of the early bird discount. If you want to break up the payment into 4 different monthly installments, if that helps you out, you can just make sure that you're registered, and then you can select that, that option. You just got to make sure you do that before March 15th. Because once March 15th happens, then obviously, right, we can't do a broken up installment because there's not enough time to do it before the seminar. So if you want to kind of maximize your training and maximize your growth in Collie and get the Collie Center in-person experience and meet me and train with me and Tom and Ollie and everybody, I'd love to see you over at ITC. It is an experience like nothing else as far as martial arts goes. You know, you're going to learn a lot. You're going to grow a lot. And, you know, whatever questions you got, that's the best time to ask your questions. So, yeah, hopefully we'll see you there. That's the only other seminar that I'm teaching this year is ITC. Other than that, I've got one more Inner Triangle meetup. We'll be doing our fall meetup. We're probably actually going to be doing it here. I know that's kind of like, you know, some of these meetups are hard for everybody to get to. I understand that. It's just, you know, they are free, right? I mean, training-wise, they're free. Inner Triangle meetups. Obviously, they're for Inner Triangle members only to come out to the meetups. And basically what the meetups are is we take a section of the curriculum and we just focus on that section of the curriculum for that whole weekend. So we teach you how to work the form, how to drill it, how to build up the application, and then how to actually use it in flow, in the free flow. So it's super, you know, I mean, you're going to grow a lot. You're going to learn a lot. But ITC, that's a great place. If you are a beginner in Collie, if you've never done Collie before a day in your life, if you have a lot of experience in Collie, ITC is a great event for you to attend. Like I said, take advantage of the discounts that we have up there. You can stay on the campground. I think there's a few spots still available where you can stay on the campground with us. If you prefer like a hotel or something like that, there's some hotels, great hotels in the town of Custer. It's literally like 4 miles away. It's a 10-minute drive from the campground. We're outside the whole time. I got a whole list over at colliecenter.com. Just click on the menu where it says ITC 2020, and it'll have a gear breakdown list and then also like an extra kind of what to pack. You know, just make sure that you have sunblock with you. Make sure you have some sort of long sleeves or jacket because the nights might get a little cooler or the mornings might be a little cooler. You know, just kind of have a rain jacket in case if it does rain on us, you know, and you want to kind of have that protection from the rain. You know, just things like that, right? Because we are training outside the whole time. Whether it's sunny out, raining out, windy out, whatever it is, we're training outside the whole time. Because nature is my dojo, man. So it'd be awesome. I love meeting new people, especially through Collie, and it'd be great to train with you guys. So hopefully we'll see you over at ITC this summer. That's June 24th through the 28th, 5 days. If you're there a day early, if you get there maybe like on the night of the 22nd, and you're like, hey, what am I gonna do on the 23rd? Head on out to the campground early in the morning. meet up with us there, and then come on our hike with us. The day before ITC, I always have my staff guys and stuff. We always go on a hike. So we usually do something like 12, 15, 16-mile hike. And while we're hiking, sometimes we stop, we get a little bit of training in, or we film like a YouTube video or inner triangle video or something like that. So if you want to come and hang out with us on the day before, kind of like a bonus day, you're more than welcome to do that. So it'd be super, super cool. All right. But other than that, I am going to go eat something really quick. I'm going to go eat some dinner so that way I can get back out to my man over here and get some more training in tonight. I'm either going to be doing that training or my other training, because they're similar, but I'm working between these two things that are connecting. So that'll be awesome. All right. So thanks for hanging out with me and sharing your time with me. I appreciate it. Thanks for your questions and having some fun conversations. And I will see you guys next time. All right. Head over to collegecenter.com. Get registered for ITC before it's too late. All right, guys. Have a good one. Later.